Are we ready? We're good? Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Village of Biscayne Park Code Compliance Board meeting for Wednesday, July 17, 2024. And if the clerk would please call the roll.
Jenny Anderson.
Here.
Dale Blanton.
Here.
Rodolfo Barranto.
Here.
Judy Hammerberg.
Absent.
Michael Lanat.
Here.
Ashlyn Bernard. No. Ashlyn. Oh, okay.
And present from village staff.
Dory Grant. Luciana Nibbs.
Present.
Rafael Gutierrez.
Present.
Vanessa Cherry present.
Once again, good evening, everyone. This is a meeting of the Village of Biscayne Park Code Compliance Board. The board is authorized pursuant to Chapter 14 of the Village's Land Development Code to ensure compliance with the village's Code of Ordinances. The members of the board are citizens and residents of the Village of Biscayne Park. We volunteer our time and are not paid for our services. The purpose of each hearing is to give any alleged violators the opportunity to contest the decision of the code compliance officer, which resulted in the issuance of a notice of violation, and to determine whether a violation of the village's code has occurred or is occurring. We are not authorized to dismiss violations based on hardships, ignorance, or the fact that others might be guilty of the same violation. These hearings are conducted in a quasi-judicial manner. Our responsibility is to act much like a judge in a court, and that is to hear cases presented by the village's code compliance officers and to hear contradictory arguments presented by the alleged violators. We are not authorized to change the code. The village commission is solely authorized to enact or revise codes. Conversely, neither the commission nor the village manager have the authority to overrule the findings of the board. Pursuant to Chapter 162 of Florida statutes, orders of the board can only be appealed to the Circuit Court of Miami-Dade County. We have the authority to assess and order the payment of civil penalties, to issue orders having the force of law, to command whatever steps are necessary to bring a violation into compliance, and to assess administrative costs. In order to make a finding upholding the code compliance officer's decision, we must find that there is substantial competent evidence that the named violator was responsible for a violation of the relevant section of the code as charged. All documentary evidence presented by the parties must be submitted for placement in the hearing file. No documentary evidence will be considered unless the alleged violator or code compliance officer submits a copy for the hearing file. Each party shall have the right to call and examine witnesses, introduce exhibits, to cross-examine opposing witnesses on any matter relevant to the issues, even though that matter was not covered in the direct examination, to impeach any witnesses regardless of which party first called them to testify, and to rebut the evidence against them. If you intend to address the board and have not signed in, please do so. And anyone wishing to address the board, please stand, raise your right hand so you may be sworn in. You are reminded that this board is a quasi-judicial board and false testimony can be penalized.
Please stand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Do we have any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda?
None.
I do have one change. Since our chair of the planning board is here with us tonight, I would like to move item 7, bear with me, 4, to be the first case we hear, please. 7-4. That'll be the first case we hear if we have no objections.
No objections.
And as far as the minutes, if you folks remember, we've talked about let's push those to after we've conducted all the business, so these folks don't have to sit here while we go through our minutes. So we'll do that. Again, if no objections, we'll do that after we've conducted business.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. First case.
Good evening, Doreen Grant, Code Compliance Department. The first case we'll hear tonight on the agenda is in section 7, and it's item number 7.4. It's for the address 11345 Northeast 9th Court for the case number CEN-23-341, William P. Lomry. We are bringing this case for a progress report. Violation was for a driveway. The fine of $500 remaining unpaid, no permit in the system. Mr. Lomry is here with us, and the chairperson of the Planning and Design Review Board will be testifying.
So, I'm sorry, Doreen, he has paid?
No.
Not paid the fine.
Not yet.
So what we're dealing with, though, I believe to be the lack of an approach in this case. Is that
That's correct. Yes, this is another one of the unique driveways we have in the village of Biscayne Park. It's a ribbon driveway, which I now understand is a conforming driveway. However, it doesn't have an approach, and that part makes it unconforming.
But if you look around the village, it's not confined strictly to, it's not like we're singling out ribbon driveways. There are numerous
Several.
driveways of various shapes, sizes, forms, and materials that with our current code are not in compliance because of not having
Approach.
the approach.
That's correct.
Gage, might I ask you, would you mind coming and explaining how that formulated, that we do need to have that approach? Mr. Long, we do have the conversation first, sir, and then you will have
Sure.
ample
Oh,
time.
Certainly, yeah.
And-
Yep.
If you
You
would,
give him the mic. Or you can use this one.
even better.
No, you can keep yours now. He's gonna use this one.
Hey there, sir. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, Gage Hartung, 1029 Northeast 114th Street. I am the Planning and Zoning Design Review Board Chairman. I was asked to come tonight just, I know there were some questions on ribbon driveways, which it seems like that that answer had been what if a ribbon driveway was an approved parking surface? That question I think has been answered. Basically, a ribbon driveway is, it's the material. The way our code is written is you must park upon an approved parking surface. And a ribbon driveway typically is made out of concrete, and as long as the wheels are parked on the driveway, then it is considered a driveway. And so, so I know there was some confusion because they are like a traditional, original driveway from back in the day. But as long as they're in good condition and they're in they're allowed to continue. There's nothing wrong with them and then, the code does say you're not allowed to park on grass. So as long as the wheels are maintained on the driveway, the concrete portion, they are maintained, and we have, as a planning board, approved them recently. They are a design element. So people come in and they want a ribbon looking driveway where they can be a little more creative with their driveway, and we've allowed it. Again, the impetus being the wheels being parked on the proper material. So the code does mandate an approach on driveways, and it does mandate that properties that do not have an approach come into compliance by a certain date. Originally, it was January 2nd, 2023, but it has been moved up. So I'll just take any questions you might have or anything, but on the behalf of the planning board, we are looking at that as an approved driveway and material or driveway design. Thank you.
Mr. Lomry, this
Yeah.
would be a perfect.
Perfect.
Did
Perfect.
board members have any questions?
Oh, yeah.
So Gage, how you doing?
Thanks.
So this driveway you said is good?
I mean, the portion of the driveway, it's hard to tell because it looks like I'm looking at the approach there. So as long as the part that starts at the property line and goes forward and it's the concrete is in good condition, it is a driveway.
Is that concrete or is that like crushed rock? It's concrete?
That's concrete, but not the approach. 'Cause part of our, old code is that you have, the approach has to,
Got it.
So I'm referring to the ribbon part, not the approach part.
Okay, that part, okay. Okay.
Gage, does the approach have to be the exact material or can it be something comparable that is a design element your board would?
The way the code is written is it has to be of it has to be of the same material, but of a continuous design. Let me just it just basically so you could have like concrete and gravel, you could have concrete and pavers, you could have but you have to keep the design has to be of a
To make sense.
uniform design. So it could be multiple materials. As long as concrete is, if that's what the driveway is, it's brought out into the approach.
Mr. Lumley, this would be a perfect opportunity for you to ask any and all
You
questions,
took
sir.
the words right out of my mouth, because that's the question I had. Does it have to be the same material? The approach has to be the same material as the actual
It says
driveway,
all the
Yeah,
parking
yeah.
surfaces shall be of one material or of a unified design throughout.
unified.
So
So would you suggest, Mr. Lumley, perhaps get on planning and zoning as, planning and design review as a discussion?
I know I've recognized them now, because you have come, I think maybe
Mhm.
when you were cited, you
Once,
came
yep,
in and
mhm,
spoke to us. I don't know if it was an agenda item
Right,
or if it was before, but I do recognize
yep.
you, sir. And so please come in, we'd love to talk to our residents.
Can you have a brick paver in the swale, in the approach, and then the driveway, the ribbon is concrete?
If you,
Can you have?
again, I have, this is what I'm going into, I can't speak for my board, but I would say in my interpretation personally, if you had brick with a combination of concrete,
Right,
you probably could create a uniform design as the way the code is. Again, I
Mhm.
can't speak for the board, but I'm speaking for myself.
but does that have to be meshed together from the two ribbons, the two strips into the approach has to be blended in?
It would be, you'd come up with a design, either having the bricks outlined with
Oh, I
with
see.
the concrete or
Right.
having the approach concrete and the bricks pavers around it. But there needs to be a combination of the two. It says unified design.
But you could not have gravel in the approach and then the two concrete strips, the ribbons, the two.
No, you could, I mean, you could have, I mean, right, like, if you look around, there are people that have installed, gravel with the necessary concrete border that is required around gravel. So then you end up having concrete with the gravel in the middle, and then the concrete continues into the property. That's considered a uniform design. So if you, trying to think of places in the park where I've seen people put in approaches and they've done things like that.
Oh, I see. Okay. Or concrete,
Or a pad of
concrete blending in with the two strips that are already there, the ribbons, the two, yeah, kind of, right. Okay.
Would they need a permit just to do the approach or can they just go ahead? and-
You need a permit for the approach, right?
what has to
Okay.
go through P and D, doesn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
you just apply for a driveway permit and just on the survey mark what you want to do. And
Right.
I want to do concrete and just do a little drawing, a little highlight it. And there's a calculation form, which I think you have right there. Yep,
Yeah.
you have to fill that out and
230 square feet.
yeah, and then
Okay, so-
it's usually pretty standard.
It cannot exceed 40% of the portions pervious.
Yeah,
Percentage
so,
pervious.
so if you have a 75-foot wide,
Mm.
swale, you
Right.
can only cover 40% of that.
Okay,
Gage, you might,
And then 40% in turn of the driveway, but you're not looking to change your driveway.
right.
am I correct? Would he also need to submit a survey at the time of applying for this? I mean,
Yeah, so a survey application with the calculations usually what we look for.
so you would have to have a survey with your application.
I've got it done. It's all, yeah,
All right, do we have any more
pretty
questions?
much, yeah.
Gage, thank you very much. I appreciate the clarification and the time the gentleman could ask you questions directly.
We have one more difficult case. Can he stay just for a little bit? We have one more difficult case after this case. Could you stay for just a little bit? Appreciate it.
We're ready for a motion?
I'll make a motion that we table this until the August, hearing well, let me stop. I do have a question. You said there was already a $500.
That's correct. Outstanding.
With that, we've already ruled on this in the past?
Yes, you have.
Okay, but right now it's just for a progress.
That's correct. At the last hearing, they had asked him to go and apply for a permit. But there was a little hardship there. Mr. Lomery that didn't have access to a computer. So
Remember that?
we-
Right,
I
right,
would
I
ask
see.
that in a situation like that, it
Yeah.
would have helped to have that order of enforcement that showed that a fine already existed. Because we try to remember everything, of course, but that doesn't always happen. So when we have cases that we're pulling forward, understandably, but things like that, that's critical to be there, so we would have known. You know, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, I don't think I was here for the hearing. And I don't remember it, so I don't make.
All right, I'll go ahead and make a motion. In case number CEN 23-341, that we table this until August. Get a progress report. I would expect Mr. Lomer, you to applied for and obtained your permit by,
Mhm.
let's
Okay.
see when the P and Z meetings are. Okay.
Well,
There are two meetings, it looks like, in August, August 5th, which you would need to apply by July 29th. So that gives you over a week, sir. We'd like to see you, I think, on the 5th calendar,
Yes.
so that then you can report back at our code meeting what the progress has been on getting your permit approved. And also remember, sir, you have an outstanding fine that does need to be paid.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that's my motion, that we table.
Could I ask a question about, can the contractor actually send the permit on his computer to Biscayne Park here?
That's correct.
Good.
He can fill it out on, he
Good.
can apply online.
Oh, he can do that?
Yes, sir.
The entire, the permit and the other forms?
That's correct. You just have to pick up the package from the office. He can fill it out, upload it to the computer.
Yeah, I've got it all done. It's all,
Yes. your
it's
contract.
just one he has to sign. Does the contractor sign the impervious, pervious?
I believe so. Unfortunately, I'm not building. I'm not sure about that. But,
Or does the architect sign that?
I'm not sure.
before we move on. I'd
That would
just
be a
table it.
question.
I mean, a second.
Pass by the office again. We'll,
All in
Clarify.
favor?
Oh, okay.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Motion passes 4-0. We'll see you back here, sir, in
August 5th,
August.
right, okay.
August 5th is the planning and zoning meeting, and you do need to put in your application by July 29th.
Oh, that's planning and zoning.
Yeah, you gotta be there first, sir. If that's where you're getting the permit approved or not approved, you gotta go there first, then back here.
Okay. First, I'll get this through
Yes, sir.
for the permit, right? The
Thank
first,
you.
right?
Thank you.
Okay, yep, thanks.
next case is item 7.4. It's for the address 11345 Northeast 9th Court. Oh, I'm reading the same case. I apologize, Mr. Lomery. He's like, are they calling me back? 7.5, the address is 11921-23 Northeast 12th Avenue. The address is CEN-23-339. It's for Arlette Romaine and Jean M. Pierre. There's an extension that was granted for the comply by date to July 17th, which is today. This is a violation for a driveway. Ms. Arlette is here. They've had some difficulties in resolving how the driveway would sit on the property. I believe Planning and Design Board has given them some suggestions, but his contractor came to the office and he said he was unable to do it the way
Okay.
the recommendation was given, but she'll go ahead and explain.
Yeah, at this moment, I'm looking for another contractor because he went up on the price.
Ma'am, I need you to speak up.
Oh,
directly in
I'm
the-
sorry.
When you're our height, you got to pull it.
Okay, he went up on the price, so I have to go with somebody else. So at this moment, I contacted somebody else. He drew this and I would like to show it to you guys to see if that's acceptable, then we continue with it.
I'm going to ask the Planning and Design Board Chair if he wouldn't mind to come forward and come back up to the dais. That way you can ask your questions of him. When it comes to design,
Okay,
that is his area.
oh. Right.
This is a concern in that this case started April 2022. So I want to kind of remind everybody,
Do you have the original one that
No,
was
we're-
denied?
2 years and 3 months.
Yeah.
The new one, I'm just talking to somebody.
Okay. So, I mean, from what I'm looking at, it appears that what you're doing is providing 2 driveways. It's a duplex, correct? So you're providing 2 parking spots where you can have parking spaces in tandem, a 10-foot by 47-foot, two strips. And it looks like the majority of the parking is on your property. I don't recall the exact, what you had applied for previously but I think it had something to do with the fact that you were not having the parking spaces on your property. You were showing just this parking spaces in the right of way. So. Yeah, so the original design was you were just having the parking spaces on the right of way. And we had told you that we wanted them to be up on your property, that you had to provide the 4 parking spaces total on your property. So this design, either this circular, or this way you're showing it here, looks like they provide the necessary parking spaces on your property. So you would just have to get on to the next planning board meeting and we can reconsider it with either one of these designs. Pick one. That's a nice, simple design right there. We could simply design, say 1, 2, 3, 4 parking spots and you're good. And then we can hopefully move you right along.
Any
In that
questions?
case, we would ask the board for another extension of time on the comply by date.
But that was gonna be my question, because I see the order.
Order of enforcement.
Was for commence on June
June.
20th.
Right.
And so at the last hearing, it was granted an extension till
Today,
today.
that's correct.
Okay.
She has paid some of the
Partially.
fine, part of it. She paid $125 on the 250.
See that.
June 19th was the original date. Again, we started this 2 years ago, but at this point,
Looks like.
I don't know that we have a choice.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. On case number CEN -23 -339, I'd like to make a motion to table this to the August hearing. Provided and direct the request the resident to apply for a permit or have a permit pulled by then. Next planning and zoning meeting is on August the 5th. The application should be August the 5th. The application should be submitted by July the 15th. No,
For the record, there is a permit on file. She has submitted a permit.
But this is a new drawing Oh, the permit is okay.
It's in the system. She just has to go back to planning and zoning with
So
You-
we'll just do a table it to the August hearing.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
I'll second for discussion. I think that if we just table it, we again have another open-ended issue. I think we need to set a deadline by which we expect her to be able to come back with a fully approved permit, because it's already been tabled twice. Surely on the third extension, she should be able to get it right this time, and we just kind of keep tabling things without an incentive for people to finalize what they need to do. So I'd like to see our code date as in August as her final date to come back with.
Well, I mean, you're talking about final dates and making sure she complies. I think that what I've heard is irrespective of when it started, what I've heard is that this neighbor has, gotten a contractor. There was an issue with the contractor. You got a new contractor, you got new drawings. You already got your permit. You paid partially on the fine.
Mhm.
So I see substantial compliance. So I don't want to sit there and, I agree with an incentive, but I think we got to table it. You got to go to this hearing, ma'am, in front of the planning and zoning, to get these plans done. But I think that she's doing everything right at this point. So I don't want to put some kind of a deadline and then, bang her when she comes back in if there's something with this contractor or something. And then now, hit her with some other fine. I would just do it like we did the last one and just table it.
Also, I would say that we already have a daily fine in place. The only thing, and we withheld the daily fine
Right.
pending till August. So if come August, if she hasn't come in compliance, we can at that time reaffirm the daily fine.
But we could do exactly what you're saying, but still set the August code board date as a deadline. And we could still do that's exactly what you're saying is, yes, if she's not in compliance by August, then we can reinstate the daily fine, but we have to have a date to do that.
Well, I think what Dale is saying is that the stick is already in place. It's going to be in place until August. So you can hit her with the stick in August because the daily fines can be reimposed. That's what he's saying. It's already there.
We already have
But
it
we already extended it, so that's
till
gone.
August.
No,
So
till August.
if it's not done in August by our August hearing, it's there. All you're doing is,
That's great. So all I'm saying is let's put the date of the code board hearing in August so that that date is there and we know we have to come to a decision.
It's already there. The question is there be a motion to reaffirm or to not reaffirm on that date? There's no need to do it because your stick is sitting there in the August hearing for you to hit her with it if you want to. You make a motion to reaffirm. The date is already there.
Date is August 7. Fines will start running August 8 if there's no
We need
compliance.
to make August 7th as the date. She has to come back. If not, then, with the progress report. If not, we can reinstate the daily fine.
well, our next hearing is August the 14th.
That's
August 7th, it's been changed.
Pardon?
August 7th,
It's changed from this?
it's the 7th. Okay.
that's correct.
Yeah, so that's just a few weeks.
Mhm. 3 weeks. 2 weeks
Got it.
And it's right after the P and Z
meeting.
hearing.
Then honestly, with our date that early, that's really, if we're going to work with her as much as we can, then I would actually push it out further than that because the 5th, she's not necessarily going to have time to have pulled the permit,
She already
get
has a
everything-
permit.
but she's got to redo everything. I'm sorry. If that still causes issues, now I feel differently because seeing how early our meeting is, which normally it is not, I would say,
We're getting a progress report on August the 7th. So she would
Okay.
have gone to P and Z. By that time, it would be a yay or a nay. And then whenever we hear it on August the 7th, we can determine, are we giving
What
her
we're
extra
doing.
time?
Okay,
I mean, because if it comes back and Doreen and Luciano says, yes, P and Z approved it. It's just a matter of
Okay.
tidying everything up. We already got a permit. We
Alright.
should be fine. So I'll
I'm
leave my
good.
motion.
You want to repeat your motion?
Oh.
Now that I muddied it.
To table until the August 7th hearing.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Need to go to that P and Z meeting.
When is that?
It's August 5th and you need to apply by July 29th. Please write that down.
Okay, August 5th by July 29th.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Have that paperwork over to the village by July 29th.
Thank you for being fair, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Have a good day.
Next item, 7.1. Address is 675 Northeast 115th Street. This is for case number CEN 23-276 from Matthew Carlisle. This is a progress, Carlisle, I apologize for that. This is for a progress report. They are scheduled for a discussion, as a discussion item for P and D on July 22nd. This violation is for a driveway. And just a reminder to the board, this is the case that was heard before. They have been unable to do their driveway because they have a septic, is it
Catch basin. or-
it's a drain, a storm drain that was installed by the village right in front of their property.
With grates so wide, you can't get out of the car, right?
Just about, yeah. What just started that is we couldn't park in our driveway because they were putting the drain in there. So we parked in the yard. So first got a violation for parking in the yard. I put gravel and grates on top of the drain so I could park in the driveway. Then we get a violation because the driveway is not up to code. So it's been
You
an
can't
interesting
win-
process.
You can't win for losing,
It's
yeah.
an interesting process, but now we have a meeting with the Planning and Zoning Board on Monday. We were told by the village manager and other people in the village that the drain was, by Public Works, the drain was installed incorrectly.
And
The
by
whole street
mistake,
The whole street is cavitating and have potholes all the way down the street. The bigger problem we have there is the workmanship that was done there. It was so bad, our yard is sunk 3 inches or 4 inches, where I put gravel on it to refill it again to try and make a stable surface where I can park my truck. So based on our planning and zoning meeting on Monday, they're gonna give us a tentative approval, hopefully, on what we assume would be a code compliant driveway. But in the interim, we want to finish putting the gravel there so it looks better for us and our neighbors, and we have a better surface to park on. So right now, we're here just to, I guess, for an extension or to table it till something else more happens.
and I would like to put it on the record that the Public Works Director had confirmed that the drainage system he's talking about was installed by the village wrongly. It was supposed to be on the other side of the street.
Oh, my goodness.
And we have a very narrow lot, a lot only 55 feet wide, so it's very difficult to get 3 cars there to start with, and much less so when you have a drain that's 8 inches, 10 inches below grade.
And you've already initiated working with planning and zone,
Yes.
planning and design.
Right, and that, we tried to make it 2 meetings already, but due to a lack of having a quorum, they had to reschedule meetings. Now we're officially scheduled for the Monday meeting, which we're well prepared for, and hopefully next time we talk, we'll have more positive information to follow up on.
Well, unless anyone has any questions, I would make a motion that we ask this fine gentleman to come back in September, and I'm sorry, in August, and fill us in on where you are. And hopefully by then, because there are 2 meetings in August.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to do whatever it is you want to do to that driveway until they
Yeah, I'll-
change
yeah,
everything, right?
First off, I'm gonna put gravel there to restore the gravel driveway that we had there before, just bring it up to presentable for the village and for our neighbors and for us, especially my wife. It was recommended. They recommended that we do it, but they don't plan on, when the next phase of waste or stormwater.
He really can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be 3 years. We're not going to wait 3 years to
Yeah.
do what we need to do.
Yeah.
I want to take care of what we have now to bring it to, we have a good service to work with, but also understanding going forward, what do we need to do and how do we work with the village and the contractors when our drain gets moved?
Mhm.
The brand new driveway we put in there, we spent $15,000, $20,000 driveway, won't be trashed
Right.
because they didn't prepare the surface properly. So it's a
And as I
lot of moving
recall,
parts.
you brought pictures the last time of how The water is like going up into the neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes
remember.
up 10 feet in our neighbor's yard across the street. It's never flooded in 35 years in my front yard. My backyard flooded last time they had a storm. It flooded 4 inches all across all my neighbors, my yard. My front yard, not a bit. So that's how bad it was placed. That's not what we're here for. My driveway's atrocious. My wife's yelled at me for years. We want to take care of that. But going forward, we want to make sure we make good decisions work for us and the city. The village even offered to go ahead and spend $25,000 just to cap the drain. So I said, I think it's a waste of money to do that. I've balanced out the drain. I understand how this works. I put gravel on temporarily so I can park there. But we want to make sure it's viable and works for all the parties involved, not just for me, not just for the village, or not for the contractor who's going to be doing the job.
So do-
Excellent. So I'd like to go ahead and
Definitely.
second your motion to table it until August hearing.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes
Okay.
4-0. Thank you both
Thank
so
you.
much.
Next item, 7.2 for 940 Northeast 119th Street. This is for case number CEN 23 for Alexandra Ann Alvord. Progress report. Driveway permit DWS 24 22 on the record. Violation was for a driveway. They are asking for a 60-day continuance because their driveway is in the review process. Driveway permit is in the review process.
So the driveway
The permit is in review.
and move.
It quite advanced. They're getting
And
ready.
due to the rains that we had in the past, I was a little bit nervous on adding so much concrete to my yard. I've never had water in my yard and I literally had 1 inch. It was 4 inches above the street, 1 inch before it entered my house. And so I know that this permit is in progress, but I'm still, and I hear that ribbon driveways were approved or is now, I have a ribbon driveway. It's underneath the gravel. So, but anyways, so yeah, now I've submitted some paperwork improperly and now I'm waiting for the review.
I'm seeing once again, the only order of enforcement we have is from April where we tabled till July. Do we have anything prior? Was there a fine assessed at any point?
I had a permit in progress at that time.
So they had applied for the permit
Oh.
at the time, so there was no order of enforcement, no
fine.
fines. And you wanted them to come back with a progress report, which we are happy to report that their permit has advanced and is in review right now.
So is your new driveway going to be concrete?
It's proposed to be yes.
But now you're seeing issues with the concrete?
Well, yeah, the amount of drainage that it seems my yard requires, it could be a problem with adding this much concrete.
Ma'am,
Can you?
Sorry.
please in the mic, because that's the only way it gets recorded.
When we moved in, we had ribbon driveway on both the east and the west side. And we had bought the house. It was a 2-story duplex. It's now a one single family home. But the flooding and the mudding was so bad that we put gravel so that it would help when we were building and renovating and stuff. And it was the only way. And now that has helped, but we were just worried that with the recent flooding, I mean, it was coming in my front door. It was coming in my back door. Like, if it was any more, our whole first floor would have been flooded. Like centimeters away, it was leaking in. So I'm just concerned with, the implementations that you guys are requiring us with all these cement driveways, that we're also looking forward to the future, 10 years, 15 years down the road, that we're all putting all this money in and investing money in new driveways. And in turn, it's flooding our homes. So I don't know, he called and was curious and had a lot of questions after the flooding and just worried if you guys, I mean, you're all far more advanced, that you've maybe looked into the future and that these driveways are the right way to go. And that, as far as cement, I mean, we're doing it, we have a contractor, but I hope it,
You had alternatives. You did not have to choose a concrete driveway. In fact, gravel is very definitely an alternative. It's just that it requires a certain depth of border now, but you did not have to go with concrete.
you're right, I didn't, but aesthetically comparing to the new McMansions that are coming up when there's like a $4 million house three doors down. Like, you want to adhere to the future, and the future of Biscayne Park is becoming a lot like Keystone Point, where it was middle-class homes. Now it's like millionaire mansions, and that's like the future of Biscayne Park is leading towards. And you're implementing driveways. Obviously, we in turn want to little by little futurize our own home and make the driveway, the cement is the best, but the drainage for the city itself and what you're responsible for, the city is responsible for, is what I'm worried about. Like, we're implementing these
No,
driveways.
I
Are you
understand.
guys making the right provisions, like the gentleman before that had a drain put in on the wrong side of the street? Like, are there ideas being talked about with all these cement driveways going in?
Right now, we have to deal with your property and your driveway. Doreen, where
That's all.
are they in the permitting process?
In this case, they are, I think it's just one more review and the permit will be issued.
I think I finally got all
civil
the
review.
paperwork situated, yeah,
So
so,
it'll be at the next P and Z hearing?
August 5th?
yes.
They've already been approved by P and Z, I believe.
Yeah, but my
Okay, so
approach
it's
was
just
not,
design review.
yes, yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought
This is
we-
building review. Right.
Okay.
And that we should have some information by the next hearing?
Absolutely. I'm sure they'll have a permit by then.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion in case number CEN-23-513 to table the hearing.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. We'll see you folks in August. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next case, 7.3, 1103 Northeast 117th Street. Case number CEN-23-447, Aqua King 1 RE LLC in care of the registered agent, Thomas Sherman. This is a violation for a driveway. They're here for progress report. There is a permit in the system that was just submitted 20 minutes ago. DWS, for the record, 24-43. This property is in the process of being sold. And
Correction, Doreen is sold.
has been
Yeah.
sold.
Elena is the current property owner.
This is the current property owner.
Yes.
So the property name will change, I believe. This
No,
is the-
it will be stay.
You are,
It will be under
Ma'am, I
company.
need two things. If you
Yeah,
would
it
speak
will be
again,
under
if you
company.
would identify yourself
sorry.
and your relationship to the property.
I'm a owner. I'm owner of the property.
So a permit was submitted today.
yes, just,
It, chances are, it won't be, you probably will not have the forms ready for P and Z for the next hearing. They'd have to be submitted by next week, I believe.
correct. No, not for the next hearing, probably for the one on the 22nd. There's a hearing,
The ninth, there's the 5th.
Tuesday and another one on Monday. So the one for Monday, they may be able to get them in
Next.
there.
In 2 weeks, in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Okay,
Okay.
yes?
Right, so, but she wouldn't get onto P and Z until around the August the 19th?
That's correct.
Okay, which is after our hearing.
Yes.
Okay. So unless somebody has any questions,
No, I'm good.
I'd like to table, I'd make a motion in case number CEN-23-447 to table this to the September 9th hearing.
I'll second.
September?
September
or-
18th.
Looking at the,
No,
right.
no, you're
Two
looking at
different-
them.
Two different things. here.
Right.
September 18th hearing.
Okay, thank you so much.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Next item is 7.6. For the record, that case is in compliance. 11947 Northeast 12th Court. And the case number is CEN-23-332 for Marcel C. Paris, Augustine D. Paris, and Kenny Jeffries Paris. They were renting long-term without a permit. They now have a permit and have paid all the fines.
They're in compliance?
They're in compliance. That's correct.
I'd like to make a motion on case number CEN-23-333 Two, that the property is now in compliance and fines have been paid, and to close the case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Next case, 7.7. The address is 12010 Northeast 11th Place, case number CEN 23-408. This is for Brizo Fine LLC in care of the registered agent, Miami Accounting and Tax Services LLC. This violation is for exterior paint. Paint was discolored. This property was recently sold and we have the new owners here, I believe.
Before you speak, I know that when we were taking the oath that you were still sitting down and you kind of stood up at the end. So I don't know that he's taken an oath. I don't know if he's going to testify, but I just wanted to point that out.
We do need the clerk to swear you in, sir. Thank you, Michael.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Sir, if you would identify yourself and your relationship to the property.
Yes, my name is Gerardo Valda and I represent the owners.
Wait, You're an attorney?
No, I'm not.
Question, we're here, this is for unsightly, paint discoloration.
in driveway.
I see it's painted, but, well, no, we're
No.
in this case. Just for the paint.
Yeah, there's
Well,
two
right,
cases.
all right, but
Yeah.
we have two. with
So
this.
I see it appears that it's been,
No, it hasn't been painted.
No,
oh, it's just pressure clean?
No, look at the,
no, we didn't do anything.
I saw 7-9.
Oh, well, see, I see this picture, that's why I was,
yeah, it's only half of it.
oh, I thought it was, this was before and after. Okay, because this says 4-9 and this says 7-9, that's what,
No, that's all, it's missing the back, yeah.
yeah, you see what I'm looking at?
Yeah, yeah.
That.
Oh, no, I said the same
And
thing when
that.
I saw it. Yep.
Okay, well then my next question is, so it hasn't been in compliance. My next question is that you said it was recently purchased? How recently?
So do you recall when this property changed hands, when the company you're representing took over the property?
Yes, the property was purchased in May, I believe. Yes,
The deed
And
was
I
recorded
was-
in March 8th,
March, okay.
2024.
Ah, okay. I was with you in the previous meeting, with the other group also. And, because we are applying to turn down the property and build a new property, the violation has been dismissed if we present the advance on the project. We have the permit in place.
Demo permit?
Not the demo permit, the first is, what?
Permit has been submitted for
application-
the new building. So they are in the process of going through that process. They'll demolish the building. However, they had to submit a permit first to show what they were going to do with the property.
Exactly.
And that's in progress now.
They are,
They are working actively, yes.
Yes, and there is with the planning design board, it's not been scheduled yet, but they say anytime soon. they will
Anytime soon,
have it
yes.
to discuss the details of the property with the planning design board. Our architect, Angel Saki, he's working with other projects also for us, and he's also working for this project in Biscayne Park.
I mean, obviously, we can't very well tell you to paint a house and put in a driveway when clearly there was going to be major work done. But we need to be comfortable that there's an incentive to keep going, to do what you're asked to do from planning and design, because I'm,
Yeah, no
Seen
problem.
too many-
I offered last time to do the painted or the power wash to make it look good for the neighbors. They
That
say
would-
not necessary, but I can do it.
I mean, we can understand, so
Yeah.
there's no point in putting you through that
Mhm.
when it's coming down. But we have.
But
to
at
be-
least to make it comfortable for the neighbors.
We need to be sure that there's going to be constant follow through because it's going to be a big project. There's going to be changes.
Yes.
Probably going to have multiple times in front of P and Z, but we see too often where it starts the P and Z process and then it just sort of limbos forever. So
Yeah. No, in this case, we like to do fast.
Why do they do the fence around it?
That was my question. Exact question I was gonna ask Doreen, how long, I mean, is it, does anything stop them from applying for a construction
Abs-
go around the property?
Absolutely not. In fact, the permit was, this main permit was submitted July 15th. That's one thing they will ask you to do is install a construction fence.
Ah,
before
okay.
you get started.
When?
As
When the,
soon as they
when the
start
permit
looking at
is
the-
Also requires a
approved.
permit, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Not just install the fence, it requires a permit also.
Yes, okay, but I believe it's not approved yet, no? It's still
Not
on,
yet. It.
or we can do
The
it now?
clerk received the application, whatever is missing, whatever you need to do, she'll be communicating with
Ah, okay.
Jessica. Is that Jessica, your?
Yes,
Person?
she is the assistant of our contractor.
Right, so Jessica and our building clerk will be communicating until all the paperwork, and they'll let you know what you need to do to get your construction site ready.
Yes, she's taking care of everything.
So Doreen, I go back to my question. There's nothing prohibiting them from putting up a getting a permit for a construction fence next week to have it installed.
Nothing at all.
Okay,
They can go ahead and do it.
they can do the permit, I mean, the
It's a
construction.
construction fence,
Regardless of what else was going
correct.
on. Okay,
Okay,
So if he would apply by the 29th, there's no reason he can't be on the 5th.
you don't have to have a permit for, you don't have to go between P and Z for a construction fence?
You do,
Oh,
Yes, you do.
really?
Yes,
they
you
still do.
They have to make sure it's in the right place, anchored right. Yeah, you sure do.
This board has the authority to order them to put a construction fence. They can go for an after the fact permit.
But he hasn't started construction yet, so there's
Correct.
no point to doing that. That's
Absolutely.
fair.
I understand. Mhm.
in the previous properties, they didn't let us put the fence until it was approved the demolition. Would you prefer the look of the appearance to do a power wash or make it look nice, the property in the meantime?
That would be up to this board.
Because
I'm just trying. to
it's
think
less
of
ugly.
Exactly, I'm just trying to think of remedies, and one of them was a construction.
Gen
fence. The
fence.
other thing was
Because We're
to.
gonna need it anyway.
Or the other thing was to, bring the property up, to some standard, more than what it is.
You can come for the construction fence.
Um,
We'll try and push you to go through P and Z quickly.
okay,
You're
Fence.
gonna need to get the fence anyway, sir,
yeah.
might as well.
okay,
Okay,
no problem.
Um,
I have some plans for the architect, but the exterior design is not complete. It's only the discussion on the
That's
interior.
what you'll need for planning and zoning, planning and
Yes,
design.
it's gonna be ready for, but it's ready for the, probably anytime
The
soon.
fence is
maybe.
temporary, so you could actually do the fence before P and Z even looks at that.
Ah, okay, so we're ready, let's say when, tomorrow? or
July
just-
29th, by July 29th, you'd need to apply for it, and the P and Z meeting you'd attend would be August 5th.
Okay, excellent.
Big is it?
Between 48, 4,800 maybe. We're trying to make it smaller, but didn't work for the owner.
2 stories?
Yes.
So on case number CEN 23-408, I'd like to make a motion to, give the property owner to apply for a construction fence or obtain a permit for a construction fence and have it installed by August the 7th.
29, the construction fence? Okay, August 7th.
Yes.
Well, to apply for, you said, and have it installed.
But also
have it
have it
installed.
installed.
Install.
Sure.
I mean, because what I'm hearing from Doreen, they can go ahead and put in the construction fence.
Right.
And then apply for the permit.
But
and
then
after
they'd
the
have to
fact,
pay, but then you'd have to pay the double permit.
Is that a double permit fee after that?
It's gonna be a double permit fee.
Since it's not torn down, the point is just to get it up.
Right.
There's nothing dangerous there at this point.
Yeah. And also my
Right.
protected property, we have been invaded in that property like
Mm.
a month and a half ago. So people, they were living there.
Well, so I
don't
mean,
know.
if they've done it, it makes no difference, but if it's by our next hearing anyway, so to apply and have apply for the to obtain a construction permit, fence, and to have it installed by August
Douglas, which is our here.
no, I mean, I'm just giving them enough time to go through P and Z, so August the 19th,
Okay.
I'll second.
where they can pull the
Okay.
permit
Mm.
without paying a double, and
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. That's construction fence installed by August 19th.
I don't think I
August 19th.
put the, if not, a $250 day fine thereafter.
Okay,
All right, so until August the 20th, $250 fine will start if it's not installed.
no problem.
We
Thank
need a second on that amended motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0.
thank you.
Sir, one more case.
One more.
I would like to put it on the record that there were fines assessed on this particular case, and those fines have been paid. Next case, 7.8, for the same address, same owner. This was for a driveway and
Sorry, you don't get to go that quickly.
with the new permit in place for new construction, it will include a driveway.
So that already includes it?
It includes the driveway. It will be up to this board to either dismiss this case or hold on to it until construct.
My motion would be to dismiss.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
And for the record, there were fines.
Okay,
For the record, there were fines on this case as well. Fines have been paid.
thank you.
Moving on to new business. Section 8 of the agenda. Item number 8.1 for 739 Northeast 118th Street for case number CEN-23-285 for PRB P6 LLC in care of the registered agent Rondon Law PLLC. We're asking for an order of enforcement. There has been no permits for this violation for a driveway.
This is on the-
Have two different properties.
Yeah, Doreen, there's two properties. The last picture that we have is a two-story building and the other ones are a single-story building.
For the last case, we just.
No, it's,
No, for this one right now.
739?
Yeah.
I think it's
no, it's just showing a different angle.
Oh, just a different angle?
It's just showing a different angle.
So it's the small wooden house.
Has that resident contacted you guys at all? Because they're not here.
We have not heard from this resident at all.
It's not a
Oh.
homesteaded property.
They did receive the notice to appear, they signed for it. But, no communication. And there are no permits on file.
And so there's no communication and the notice of violation was almost a year ago,
Mhm.
August the 18th.
When you said that you served Doreen? Hold on.
Luciano, go ahead and say what happened with this property, please. Excuse me, I think he has an update.
I believe the
property owner was an elderly resident and the property was sold to, I'm trying to recall the name of the new buyer, but it's not coming to me.
I'm sorry, Luciano, I need you to speak up.
Can you hear me now? The property belonged to a longtime resident, an elderly resident that was, I guess, in long-term or last stages for cancer, and the property was sold. The name of the new owner, it's not coming to me right now. But
Is it I don't know, there seems to be, is it like PRB P4 LLC? I mean, that's who the certified mail was sent to, and it looks like. And was the is RA Roden Law the registered agent? Is that what RA means?
Registered agent, yes, sir.
Okay, so everything was served to the registered agent. Okay,
It was signed for. We have a receipt.
I see it.
And but what I
The-
do see, I mean, I'm looking at, it said the previous sale was in September the 5th of 2023, and the notice of violation was on August the 18th of 2023.
yeah, the property was for a PRBP6 LLC.
Is that the new owner or?
That is the new owner, registered agent, Rondon Law P LLC.
The new owner has been served. You can go ahead and rule.
Okay.
Well, no other questions. Case number CEN-23-285. I'd like to find that the property is not in compliance. Order a fine of $250, administrative costs of $250, and to request that they come into compliance by August the 19th, if not a $250 per day fine thereafter.
When you say come into compliance, I mean, because if they have a driveway that does not meet the design standards, they obviously can't get a driveway built in that time. Just a permit?
Pull in a permit, yes.
Okay, okay,
That would be coming into compliance.
got it. All right,
Compliance for us is really just getting the permits because you've got 6 months.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
The next 5 cases are for the property. Oops, I'm sorry. Not ready.
Michael seconded.
Next 5 cases are for the same property. Those are items 8.2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. For the property located at 820 Northeast 111th Street. First case number CEN 23-315, CEN 23-316, CEN 23-317, CEN 23-318, CEN 23-319. These violations were issued to a previous owner. The officer has put an affidavit on the record saying that conveyance happened during the process of us issuing these violations. The new owner is aware. She called and we spoke with her. I was hoping she would be here today, but I believe she's out of town. And I did make them aware of all these violations. Considering the circumstances, it will be up to the board to either give them more time or put orders of enforcement on.
When did the property change? Oh, I'm sorry, it's in the affidavit. I should have. So the property changed hands roughly 9 months ago, well, almost a year ago now.
Almost a year ago now. But I believe they live in Washington. Washington or another state.
DC or Washington?
I think it's DC, I'm not sure.
Well, looking, for example, things like the dumpster, the porta potty, I believe they've all been removed. Am I correct?
They have been removed, that's
Yes,
correct.
that is correct. It has been removed.
But they needed
I
to
would-
get they needed to get permits for them even after.
But if it's gone, I think at this point,
Absolutely.
does everyone feel if the porta potties and the dumpsters have been removed,
And it's a previous owner.
It's the previous owner.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I'm just looking, should we rule, is there a separate one for that?
Mhm.
Or I just see everything put together?
There's two.
Oh, there's one.
There's a porta potty, there's one for the
There's
dumpster.
Porta potties.
Mhm. The dumpster, the porta potty.
So why don't we rule on those two, because that would be like 8.4, 8.5, if we're having those, or go one of the, once we can go ahead and dismiss, or we think we might want to.
Okay, you want to do 8.2 first, the construction fence?
Sure. Now, this property is now in compliance? The property is
For
now,
which,
For the 820 for the whole property.
They haven't done any work on the property since they bought the property, since they bought it.
there's a construction fence around it?
No construction.
no construction fence around the property. It's just completely, I guess, whatever work that was being done, there's no sign of work being done for the past few
Has
months.
been no, it's been idle.
So-
outside.
Can we, but can we look at 8.2? I just want, on this one right here, because I'm looking at construction fence requirement.
Mhm.
So it still, it requires a construction fence? Or, I mean, what type of condition is it in?
It's not in good condition. I'm just
Not.
from the neighborhood, I've seen it.
It's not in good condition at all.
And is it
It's an eyesore.
to the community?
It is.
Mhm.
That's the one I think that bothers me. I find that most concerning because it is obviously abandoned and too many boarded up things that would be easy for people to unboard.
Well, I'm just looking at trying to determine whether it requires a construction fence or not, or it should be cited for, painting and all that, and whatever else is there.
I think it's.
Well,
If there's no
Until we-
ongoing construction or there's no open construction,
It's,
construction material,
that particular property is almost similar to the last one when you just heard. It's really terrible, damaged fence, open, overgrown
In
grass.
your opinion, Luciano,
I would suggest they put a fence around it.
Great. I know that I've seen it.
the only thing I'm going after, not after, is the last one, there was a plan to demolish the house. This one, it doesn't, we don't know if there's a plan to demolish the house. The house, if they aren't demolishing it, does it require a construction fence? Or it just needs to have it cited for painting, material? The owner hasn't stated anything.
but even if it's undergoing massive
Renovation.
construction, it doesn't have to be a tear down to require a fence.
Yes.
If there are various openings, doors that are half boarded, windows that are half boarded, it still requires a fence.
Which it looks like it has those things, everything is half. And the other thing too is I thought there was some representation that it was sold recently, but I'm looking at the sales information. Doesn't look like it has. 2014 is the last time that I see any conveyance. Is that inaccurate? I mean, did somebody say something that was sold?
It was sold. This company bought this property, I believe, a year ago.
But it's not in the county appraiser.
Last year.
Yeah.
Oh, 20.
Yeah, I did look at the deed transfer about a year ago.
That would be July 6, 2023.
July 6, 2023. So it's exactly a year.
The summaries are different in some of them. Like the summary I have, the last one is 14. One of the other violations has got the 23.
The reason I'm just asking questions about the construction fence, because I am looking at a picture from 7/11 of 2024. What I see is a deteriorated fence, existing wooden fence. I don't see construction going on, so I just don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Correct.
Others, I'm not familiar with the property. I'm just looking at the packages that are presented, and on one package, but it's dated from a year ago, August 15th, 2023, and I do see where it appears some work was done. It's got fresh lumber on it, but I don't know if that was remedied and
Yeah.
Still looks like that today.
No, the site
If I
looks,
may ask you again, Luciano and Rafael, do you both believe that in the current condition of this property, a construction fence is warranted?
is required.
Yes, a construction fence is warranted. The doors are boarded up, the windows are boarded up, the fences are falling apart. Also on the roof, it's covered with I guess a tarp or plastic material. So there is gonna be some major work being done on that property sometime in the near future.
And would anyone like to make a motion on this one? I will. In case number CEN 23 315, a violation has occurred. Assess a $250 fine, $250 admin fee. Give the property owner until August 19th to apply for and install a construction fence, or else a $250 daily fine.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. The next one is 8-3, am I correct?
Correct.
Gail, this is
Dumpster. And portable toilet.
Portable toilet, and it's been removed.
That's correct.
That's correct.
I'd like to make a motion to dismiss on case number CEN 23-316.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
The next case is a dumpster.
On case number CEN 23-317, I'd make a motion to dismiss.
Second. Rodolfo good.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
in favor.
Motion passes 4-0.
The next
I'm
case is
sorry,
for the
who made the
portable.
motion and
Was
I made the motion.
Rodolfo seconded.
and Rodolfo? Okay.
The next case, 23-318 is a portable toilet.
I'll make a motion for, was 8.5?
Yes.
8.5, which is, where is it? Where's the number? 23 dash, CEN 23-318? Is that the case number? To dismiss the portable toilet violation.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0.